All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about Chetan Bhagat's 11 Rules for Life. And the core idea here is that life isn't just about working hard. It's a game with a hidden rulebook. And we're about to learn those rules through the eyes of a guy who feels like he's already lost.
Imagine hearing that. Those are the desperate words of a food delivery driver named Viraj. He's broke, he's heartbroken, and he feels completely and utterly trapped. But a simple late food delivery is about to change everything and spark a mentorship that will completely transform his life. So in this explainer, what we're going to do is distill the book's core ideas, all framed through this incredible story of Viraj. It's part diagnosis for why so many of us feel stuck, and part playbook for how to finally break free.
So picture this. It all starts with something totally ordinary, a late food delivery. The author, Chetan Bhagat, goes to his door and finds the driver, Viraj, just staring at his phone with tears literally streaming down his face. He's just been dumped, and in that moment, he feels like his whole world has ended. And this, right here, is the real heart of the issue. Viraj is pointing fingers at everything outside of himself. His job, his ex, and what he calls kismet, his fate. But Bhagat, the author, sees something totally different. He sees a guy who's trapped, sure, but he's trapped by his own mindset and a system he doesn't even realize he's a part of. This clash of views is what kicks off their whole journey.
Okay, so before we can even get to any rules for life, Bhagat says Viraj, and really all of us, we first have to understand how the world actually works. And this is so important because it's probably not how you were taught it works back in school.
The book argues that we're all taught this flat view of the world, right? That it's a fair playing field, a meritocracy. You just work hard and you'll get ahead. But the reality, according to Bhagat, is a 3D mountain. It's a steep, rigid hierarchy, a class system that's designed to keep things in order, not to help you climb.
So this mountain has 3 distinct levels. At the very peak, you've got Class 1, the elite, the top 1%. Now, just below them, you have Class 2, the protectors. Think managers, lawyers, doctors. Their job is to serve the elite, and this is key, to manage the massive class below them. And that foundation, that bottom 90%, is Class 3, the drones, the workers, the servers, where people like Viraj live, and where money is always, always tight.
So why is it so hard to move up? Well, the book calls the barriers the iron gates. And these aren't just about money. No, these are the unspoken rules of the game. Things like how well you speak English, getting into the right networks, or even just knowing the unspoken rules of body language and culture. These gates are there, and they're designed to keep that hierarchy just the way it is.
And this brings us to the book's big challenge. Once you see the mountain, once you see the gates, you've got a choice. You can either accept your place on it, or you can make it your life's mission to climb, to cross what the book calls your Alcott, your perceived status, your limits, and to jump to the next class. That's the quest.
But where in the world do you even start a climb like that? Well, the book has 11 rules, and we're going to focus on 3 of the most powerful. And the very first one, rule number 1, says the climb has to start with the one thing you have absolute control over, your own body.
Rule number 1 is simple and it's non-negotiable. Never, ever ignore your fitness. But wait, this is not about getting a six-pack to look good on the beach. Not at all. The argument here is that fitness is a training ground, a boot camp for your mind. The discipline it takes to get your body in shape is the exact same discipline you need to win at life. Just think about it this way. Every time you force yourself to exercise, you're building discipline. You're learning to push past your own excuses. When you control your diet, you're teaching yourself patience and how to resist instant gratification. And when you endure the pain of a really tough workout, you're forging mental toughness. Fitness basically becomes your personal lab for building the character you need for that climb. Okay, so fitness is the physical foundation. Got it. But what about the mental shift? What's the real game changer in your head? For this, the book jumps to rule number 10, and it argues this is the most powerful mindset change you can possibly make. 2 simple words. It's my fault. This is the core of rule #10. And let me tell you, it's probably the most difficult and the most powerful rule in the entire book.
It means you have to completely abandon the idea that you're a victim. Bhagat calls this looking in the brutal truth mirror. It's about looking at your life, at your problems, and replacing every single excuse, every if only, every it's because of them, with that one simple phrase, it's my fault. Now, this isn't about blaming yourself for every bad thing that happens. It's about reclaiming your power. You can't control fate or other people, but you can always control your response. So you're accountable. You've stopped blaming the world. You're looking at that huge goal in front of you, climbing the mountain. But now what? It seems impossibly big. It's like an elephant standing in your way. So how do you eat an elephant? That question brings us to our third key idea, which comes from rule number 7. You eat it one bite at a time. It's that simple. First, you have to see the whole elephant. You identify that massive, intimidating goal. Second, you cut that elephant into tiny, manageable pieces. So it's not study for the big exam, it's master one chapter today. And third, and this is the secret sauce, you just eat one piece at a time. You focus only on today's bite. Consistency, not intensity, is what gets the whole elephant eaten. So what happens when Viraj, our heartbroken delivery driver, actually starts applying these ideas? What happens when he starts building his fitness, taking total ownership, and eating his own elephant, which for him was the entrance exam to a top hotel management school?
The transformation is just staggering. The man who was crying in the street, blaming fate for his problems, is now a confident graduate from one of the best schools in the country. He hasn't just leveled up, he has jumped class entirely. He's now the owner of the exact kind of high-end cafe he used to deliver food for.
And this right here, this is the final, powerful lesson from the new Viraj. The joy isn't in finally reaching the top of the mountain. The fun, the real fun, is in the climb itself. It's in that daily process of just getting a little bit better than you were yesterday. That becomes the new source of happiness, not chasing after something or someone else. So we're left with this final thought. If life really is a mountain, and we're all on it somewhere, what's the first piece of your elephant? What is that one small, actionable step you can take today to begin your own climb?